What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you are just joining and this is your first time coming by, thank you for checking me out. Thank you for checking out the channel. I appreciate it. If this is not your first time, I also appreciate it, and thank you guys for the love. Today I got for you guys 5 drum pattern techniques that I think will help any producer, go from kind of like beginner and just figuring things out to getting that like pro level of drums that you are looking for. So let's get into it. Let me just open up this pattern that I made here. So I feel like this is commonly what happens. This is definitely something that I did when I was just starting out making beats, was just like loading up, a kick, a snare, and a hat, and you just put it in this sequencer, and you just try and like make a cool pattern with it. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But that's kind of where you go from, just like, maybe beginner, like novice type drums to, expanding and trying to make things more interesting, which is what this video is all about. So this is basically like this is a pattern that I came up with that I feel like is just like a basic hip hop pattern that we could expand on. So, I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not the best, right? Like it's just basic, and if anybody here, if this is something that you do and you're just like, I'm just going to put my samples in, put it in the step sequencer and put it as a pattern, don't feel attacked. I promise I'm not attacking you. Just really trying to help, like, get some creative juices going and maybe help make your drums a little more interesting. So there's nothing wrong with this at all, but something that I think could help is, number one, sampling, which is, I mean, that's obvious, right? Everybody likes to sample stuff. It's deeply rooted in hip hop. It's deeply rooted in beat making. Right here I have a drum sample that I really like, that is I put it in Slice X, but I'm going to show you what it is. And let me see. Yep. So it's in this Basement Boom Bap pack, and I found it in this MPC, electronic MPC loops folder, and I think it's this one. Yeah, it's definitely this one. Oh well, you know what I mean. I knew that it was a 95 BPM, and they do kind of sound similar, but either way, I like these drums, and MPC is already something that was super sampled, so that's like a 90s boom bap sound type thing there. So let's see what we can do when it comes to sampling and kind of add to this beat. So let me go to a different pattern so we're not putting on the same thing. And that's where my first kick's at. I'm going to go up an octave on my keyboard. Okay. Nah. Found a nice little rim shot right there. Okay, let's move this marker and see what happens if this snare's a... Okay, we're just gonna do it like that. So we're gonna take this. Let me turn. Oh, whoopsies. Let me take this channel and turn it down a little bit. Okay, so we're gonna do something like that. So let's listen to this pattern. Okay. So let's start with something like that. Just nice and simple. Okay. And obviously this might not go with this drum pattern, but that's the beauty of doing this way, because you can just kind of customize everything to be how you want it. So okay, so we're gonna fix this one. I don't expect this to be perfect, but that's the whole point of like producing. You just find a way to make things kind of work. So this kind of brings me to my second like big technique that I think will it's another pretty obvious one, but maybe something not being used enough, and something that would help you guys, like help somebody out. I wish, like I said, that I had somebody to tell me these kind of things. But number two is layering. So we sampled that drum sample and made our own drum pattern out of it, and we also already have this drum pattern here. So you know we have a layered beat right here, where we have layered kicks, layered snares, and there's some like interesting stuff going on. So let's see. I kind of like this patterns I like this drum patterns kick more. So I'm gonna try and like make these more like that. And do that by just gonna go in and copy that, put that. I guess I can't really do it like that, but I can do it. I think I could do it in the piano roll if I just select all, copy, go to pattern 2, MPC drums, and I think I would have to copy there. Okay. So obviously I got to pull that back. So I'm just gonna use this as like a kind of like a visual rep, like a guide, just markers to help me know where my kicks need to be. So there just needs to be another one there, none there, and one there. Okay. Okay. And I think I don't. I mean, this might. Yeah. So we're gonna add that there too. And we're gonna add that into this other pattern right here. Whoops. Okay. And obviously there's something wonky going on here. Maybe not. I thought I was hearing something wonky, but I guess I wasn't. But another thing with layering is not only with like drums, like the fact that we have kind of like two layers of drum patterns, but even going in to sorry, I had to check my ring real quick. I don't know why I'm telling you guys that. I don't care. Something that you can do as far as layering goes as well is go in and layer some of your instruments that are in your drum pattern. So let's take some of these hats. We'll keep this pattern, and we'll go down here and see if we it might be okay. I got to change this to Stretch Pro, I think, because I want different notes. Yeah. Okay, so that changed a lot there from the sounds of it. So we're going to bring this down. Yeah. I like that. Okay, so we'll use that, and then we'll put actually some higher ones up here. Now let me go to my magnet, and so we can kind of get some rolls going. So we'll do something like this. Or we'll do it not so fast. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. So we can do it. We can do it like this instead, though. Yeah, I like that. So we'll do that. And let's also go ahead and add maybe something like this. Like every one of these. Boom. We'll do it like this. Every other one. So there's kind of some more like dynamics going on with it. And we're skipping every other one. I might actually go in and skip a few less. That don't really matter. Okay, let's go in, adjust some of this velocity. Just kind of run through it real quick like that. Just to make it all random. And then we'll go up here, select these, and adjust that velocity. I didn't even realize they were on different like notes. Oh well. All right. Okay. So we've got layers of these two drum patterns and we just layered our hi-hats. Now, the next thing I would say that can really change like how some of this is sounding is obviously going to be some effects, right? But you're going to want to like we want to use them in the right way. So what I'm thinking is this already has this kind of gritty sound, right? But it could be it kind of needs cleaned up. So first things first is let's clean that up. Get some of that snare, but not as much mid, and kind of get some of that kick down to let this other kick do some of that heavy lifting, especially since the kick and snare is on the same channel and I can't necessarily, this is really all I can do when it comes to like high end and low end, whereas I got my kick and my snare for the other pattern on separate channels. So kind of we'll even make that a little lower. Yeah. Just more controlled. And I'm thinking for these three, let me actually do this too real quick. So I think if I go there, and then I go here and hit Shift Control L, yep, it'll. So if you select all of those and then click on the first thing in the first channel in your channel rack and click Shift Control L, it will in order name all of your audio clips and plugins and MIDI patterns and whatnot, and it'll put it in order, in order number wise and name wise through the channel rack, which is super dope. So little side note, but we're gonna take all of these. I'm gonna take this channel, dock it to the right, and I'm gonna side chain all of these over here as kind of like a mix bus, and put on a compressor over here as well. So now I want to only hear this. whoops, wrong one. Yeah. Okay, I like that. And just to give it maybe like some dirtiness, um, I know that everything's been stock plugin so far, but this is a free plugin that you can use, which is I think it's Dirty Filter. Dirty Filter by I think it's Bedroom Producers blog. I will put that in the description, but let's use some of this. Start at 0 and go up slowly. Okay. I like this. I like that. So we got some it's kind of just like a saturation filter that adds like a little, this one, like it says dirt, which is a good way to put it. It does make it sound a little more dirty. But it's kind of just like a distortion and saturation plugin. So we've got all of these sidechained over here, and both of these kind of have their own equalizers in them. I could put an equalizer on it. I will, just for safe measure and to be able to adjust things as I go. But as far as I'm concerned, everything seems pretty controlled. Now let's to kind of even go further with what we can do with our effects. Let's put in like LFO with this hat, or not LFO, panning. So we'll put in some Panamatic, which is stock. I think it hides, hiding behind there. So you can also use this. This is great for like kind of creating like movement and things like that. So if you got headphones on, you can hear that these hats are just going kind of rapidly left and right. So we got some movement there. And let's see what it sounds like all together. It sounds so like almost, it's like new and old school at the same time, like almost like trap and 90s boom bap. I'm liking this fusion. So I'm thinking let's go a little bit further with our effects and see what we can do. Like maybe if we put reverb on, and not much. I don't want a whole lot. No, not a whole lot. It's not even that much. Just like barely any. There we go. Just you hear like that, just subtle. It just gives it subtly a bit more flavor. Okay, so we've kind of accomplished what we wanted. We've got our effects going, which in this case nothing too complicated, but still a little goes a long way. Like that, the panning, I'll just play it without first. So we've got no panning, no reverb. I'll even do we won't even do that. Okay. Reverb on the snare. Panning on the hats. It just made so much more of a difference in that, and it created like a lot more I don't know, just like more uniqueness with it. So just a little bit of things you can do there with these free stock plugins and free downloadable plugins that you can get with just stuff like that right there. Now, I know I said I have 5, so number 4 is going to be dynamics. So that's going to be stuff like a little bit of that panning what I just did there, but that was, effects and dynamics. But when I mean more like things like stereo, having certain things in stereo, having certain things maybe more mono, letting things like the hats sit back, and letting your drums kind of take more of the work when it comes to what's getting pushed through, and just like kind of knowing where things need to sit in your mix. There's time oftentimes where I'm listening to a lot of stuff, especially when people are starting out, where it's like they should have really turned these hats down, like, oh my god, or you know what I mean, or like, wow, these hats sound like they're on just the same velocity, just like super programmed. So like dynamics and paying attention to that kind of thing will help you so much in the long run. And so something I mean by that is like, for instance, let's see what happens when I make this a little bit more stereo, a little bit more wide and separated. You can hear it so much better in both ears now. Whereas that sounds like now it's at the front of the mix. And this sounds like it sounds like it's still well in the mix, but it definitely sounds like it's got more area. It's definitely gotten wider and has more area and more space to it. So I like that where it sits, because we have this, like I said, we have this layer from pattern 1 on top of it. So we can almost turn it down a little bit too. Just let that kind of be a support. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just let it be like support, like a ride. If this is like that undertone layer of the drum pattern, it don't need to shine through the mix, but let it just do its thing subtly on on the lower volume ends of things. So we've got this separated as far as like kind of like dynamics and things like that go. But I think something to even show like a better example would be, let's look up just a quick hat loop if I can, and see what we can find here. Let me look up, Brooklyn drum loop. Let's see what we got. Awesome. That's awesome. So let's see if we can add it in here. Obviously, I'm going to have to do some work with the time of it. So I'm not even going to put it in a channel. I just want to see if it works. So it's obviously fast. Okay, I like that. So we're going to turn this back up to normal. Put this on 5. And this is kind of what I mean. So actually not 5, because that's being used. This is kind of what I mean. Like, we're going to have these hats in here, and we're going to let them just kind of sit back in the mix. We're just going to kind of let them take place. They don't need to be up front. They don't need to be the main part of the drums, but it's all right if they just sit and do their thing in the back of the mix. Okay, just like that. You see what I'm saying? So like, let's play it without it. Now let's play it with it. Turn it up a little bit. And this one's got a little bit of stereo to it too, so it's a little bit more wide, which I do like in this instance. So, I'm gonna do this one more time with it muted. And now unmuted. Just like I'm saying, like it's creating just this is only 3 tracks that you got to put on your thing so far, and it already sounds so much better than just what I started out with as just this, And this was way different than that at the start of it, if you remember. So like I'm saying, this kind of thing is really is so important to to kind of keep these things in mind and not be afraid to like experiment. And maybe if something sounds a little bit weird or off, it's not necessarily that it's out of place. It just isn't normal in what we hear when it comes to like pop or like what's on the radio or industry standard and all of that. But that's where you should let your uniqueness as a producer shine and do what you think, what you think is what you want to do, whatever. I tell people to add their own flavor to things, like especially when they come over and we're recording and they're like, I just don't like the way I sound. I'm like, that's because you ain't putting your flavor on it. You need to put your flavor on whatever it is that you're doing, because everybody has their own unique style. So let that shine through when you're doing stuff like this. Which kind of brings me to my fifth tip, which is be creative. Just like what I was saying, be creative and let your flavor do its like bring flavor to it, bring some uniqueness to it. Use these different techniques that I've showed you, and different techniques that have there's infinite amounts of resources and research you can do to look up even more techniques and figure more things out that you want to do. But just be creative with it. Do things like, I've grabbed stuff around my apartment and just like recorded it on this microphone right then and there and added it to the drums. And you can't get that sound anywhere else other than my apartment. So doing things like like recording your own sounds, or like beatboxing, bang on your desk and get some of that reverb and add some of that as like atmosphere in there. Textures, like noise, vinyl noise and crackle, or just even like actual live ambience textures of like whatever, like people at a diner or a beach or stuff like that. There's so much that you can do when it comes to this kind of thing. You could even add like more percussion loops or even just percussive elements that could be different instruments like tambourines, shakers, congos, toms, like all of these different things to add to your drums. You could do things like drum fills, like just for instance of what I'm saying here. Let's do a few of these things real quick and see what we can do. So obviously not that. Not that either. That's better. I kind of like this one. So let's put this in here. Time it out. And we'll add it to like the end of here, right? So, or what happens if it's at it would have to be there, right? It's way too fast. So you could even take this out. You could take out these drums. You know what I mean? So you know what I mean? So like that's just one example of stuff you can do. Like take this stuff, take this out and add in a drum fill, and maybe add in like I was saying earlier, stuff like textures and things like that. Let's see, accents, phrasers, textures, and effects. That's perfect. What do we got for? Let's see what they got for textures. What is this? Oh, that's interesting. Let's see what they got for this. Ooh, that's spooky. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Something like that would be nice. Let's do... kind of curious of like what this would sound like. Let's see what this sounds like and just put it all the way down. You see what I mean? And you could even do something like this. Watch, you could even do something like this. You could do this. There's even almost a groove in the ambience. There's almost a groove that you can add to the drums itself. I mean, and you can just put it in the back like that. And you could even, if we added it to the channel, this is what I'm saying when it comes to dynamics, we can add it in the channel, put it on mono. So like I'm saying, like, let me take this out. Let me not even have that. Let me take this out. And this is what we started with. And then we, added all of these effects in here to make it even get to where we got between, our compressors and equalizers and our, whoops, I hid that, and our Dirty Filter Plus, our reverb and our Panomatic. So we got just those two really good drum patterns out of that. Got these hats with it just to sit nicely in the back. Found this cool texture ambience thing of coffee shop recording and looped it. Came out actually pretty dope. And we put this drum roll on it just to even add another interesting like element to it. So just consider this, as going forward, especially if you're just starting out when it comes to beat making and producing. Do not give up and do not be discouraged when it comes to this kind of stuff. Like I said, I really, really wish I had somebody here to kind of tell me all this and go through all of this, especially with access to free stuff that is either comes with the software or that you can download. So like I said, it's you can do it. You can do it with the site. It comes with the software. All of this stuff that I've used sample-wise has been free that I've downloaded just from the years that I've looked up. And these packs will be in the description. All the links will be there for all the stuff that I use, so you guys can get them too. But yeah, like these 5 things really, really help me out when I'm making drums. I go through these 5 things of like, okay, did I add this? Did I try this? Did I try this? And then usually by the time I get to the 5th thing, I'm like, okay, I got the drums that I want now. So, hopefully this helps you guys out. It helped me out a lot. I hope you guys liked the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Leave me a comment, drop a like and a subscribe if you would like. Please, please, please let me know. Give me some feedback on what you like, even if there ain't stuff you don't like. And just let me know if this is the kind of stuff that's helping you guys out, or if you would rather see more like beat making, song breakdowns, or whatever. Let me know. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. So enjoy. Peace out, you guys. Thank you. Actually, just kidding. We're gonna play these drums real quick. We're gonna play these drums out, and then y'all can have a good day. Let's jam out to these drums real quick together, though.